Welcome back. I'm Brent Meredith. America's love affair with automobiles stretches back more than a century. Most of us can still recount with vivid detail our first car and the sense of freedom that came with it. For one local organization, that love affair is just as strong as those first memories. The Lambda Car Club is the largest of its kind in North America. Membership is at 2,200 and there are 32 active regions throughout the U.S. and Canada. Here with me tonight to discuss their passion for autos is Lambda Car Club International Cumberland Region President Anthony Wilford and Club Treasurer Carrie Garner. Welcome, guys. Thanks for being here.
Sure.
So now, before we jump into the car stuff, which I'm super excited about, tell me a little bit about yourselves and sort of when your individual love affair with cars began. Anthony?
My individual love affair with cars came early on. I had a very close family friend of ours, was kind of like a second father to me, introduced me to antique autos, and I wanted to gain more interest of cars, so I joined the military to become a mechanic and get that formal training, and when I got out I decided to continue on with that hobby and get an old car for myself. So
what was the first one you got?
Mine was a 1968 Pontiac, and I still own it. So
oh wow, so you've had it since then?
That's right.
Cool, cool. And Carrie?
My love affair with cars started with my brother's 75 Nova SS because in high school I was the one that usually started the drag races. So either that or I was sitting in the passenger seat telling him where he was in comparison to his friends that he was racing against.
Well,
so.
yeah, I think your first car is a little closer to mine. Mine was a 77 Chevy Monte Carlo that my grandmother had bought new in 76, and I hated it kind of at the time, and now I would give anything to have it back.
Right.
It was silver, Landau roof, it was beautiful, and there's no telling where it's at now. Anyway, so what's the origin story for the club itself?
The club originally started in New York, and it was originally called the Gay Old Car Owners Society.
Now that's a mouthful.
And that was in 1981. I'm not sure at what point it changed to Lambda Car Club. That was before I was involved with it.
Yeah. So now, when did you guys actually get involved, Anthony?
Mine first started right after I purchased my Pontiac, and that was in 2010.
Okay.
Shortly after I had left the military, and actually I purchased the vehicle and took it to a local show here in Middle Tennessee, and actually that's where I met Carrie, and that's how I became involved with Lambda.
And so what prompted you guys to sort of get involved on the level that you are as president and treasurer, or just...
Well, really, there's always opportunities for general membership to step up and help lead the direction of the club, and that was necessary for both Carrie and I, and we just felt a calling to fill those two roles, and it's been great.
Well, and I know, Carrie, yours was kind of a natural fit, being a CPA, right? So kind of looked at you and everybody, like, who's going to be treasurer? Everybody looked at you, right?
That's right. He's the only one that's allowed to do it. So,
so now tell me a little bit about the events and the local or the monthly cruises and some of the things you guys do as club members.
Well, we have several events every month. There's a guaranteed cruise-in / dinner meeting where we all meet at a choice of our choosing, a restaurant of our choice, and we'll cruise there together, or we can meet there. And in addition to that, we have pool parties, which are coming up this month and next month, obviously with the great weather we're having. Dinners, cruise-in swap meets.
Now, I wanted to ask specifically about the cruise, because we're showing some pictures now of some of the events, if you guys want to comment on any of the photos. But where do you typically, do you have certain areas you would like to drive through? I mean, like the Trace, I'm sure, is probably a popular one.
We've done cruises to Jack Daniel's Distillery and done a tour of that. The picture up now is
Knoxville Pride.
Knoxville Pride.
I was going to say, there's the
a booth there.
Yeah.
There's the
we participate in nearly every Pride in our region. We do cruising tours of the Natchez Trace. Really, we'll try to identify each month a great location that we can cruise to or through our area, and we just try to make that work for everybody.
Now, you said you guys have been at Pride, and I remember you guys, I think as far back as when we were at the Centennial Park. I feel like I remember you guys being there. Have you been at the ones more recently, though, right?
Yes. That's
where
right.
Where can we find you? Because I don't remember seeing the cars this last few years.
Well, it's tricky because each Pride is different in the terms of how many cars we're allowed to bring, and then sometimes we can't get them close enough to the booth. But for the past 2 years, we've been pretty close, right at the corner of Union and...
is that 5th or 4th, I believe? Is that right? Somewhere near there.
Somewhere right through
somewhere
there.
right there,
It's
okay.
right there, almost on the steps leading up to the green space in front of the
but if you
courthouse.
look for the cars, they're there.
They're there.
I apologize because I remember at the Centennial Park sitting in them and looking at them, and there was a couple of old station wagons that had the wooden panels on the
Sure,
side that I
right.
fell in love with.
Sure.
Anyway, it was a fun, nostalgic time. Do you guys do anything else, sort of charity related? I know you guys. I saw some pictures on your website with the Lane Motor Museum. I'm sure you're constantly looking at things there. What else do you guys do besides the Pride events?
Well, you're right. We do. We are working very closely with Nashville Cares as for a charity of our choice. Actually, for our upcoming Grand Invitational in 2018, portion of our proceeds are going to directly benefit them and their choice. And we also try to support other gay and lesbian-owned businesses around Middle
Sure.
Tennessee. And we're actually part of the GLBT Chamber of Commerce here
cool.
in Nashville as well.
Yeah, that's
So-
nice. Carrie and I were talking not too long ago at one of the meetings.
Right.
And I'm noticing from some of these pictures, too, that there's sort of a wide variety of types of cars. Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
All cars, any age.
All cars welcome.
Right. And you don't even, need a car to join.
Oh, that's cool.
So-
So just an appreciation and you can get
Right.
in?
That's
cool.
right.
So, and I noticed too, one of the, was I was looking through the pictures, there was everything, like you'd said, from old like minivans from the 80s, and it made me stop and think for a minute. Are those considered classic cars now because they're
Yes,
over
they
20
are.
years old?
Unfortunately, yes. Most of what we grew up with and rode around with it as a kid, those are now what they consider
That just sort of blew
collectible.
my mind, yeah, because I remember as a kid looking at antique cars and thinking, oh my gosh, those seem so old, so long ago, and the features and whatnot were on them, and now it's stuff that we grew up with. So Nashville has been chosen. You mentioned, as Carrie and I were talking about this before, and to host an important event here in a couple of years. Do you want to talk a little bit about the International Club?
Sure. So the international region kind of governs all of the 32 individual regions across the country.
Yeah.
And once a year, one region is selected to host what they call the Grand Invitational, which is where people from every region across the country and Canada will come to that location or that city. And there's a whole week's long worth of car-related events and some non-car related events for partners or spouses that just aren't interested in the car aspect.
Yeah.
So we try to appeal to both sides. But Nashville was specifically chosen in Cumberland region. We bid to National and they selected us. And to be selected to host the Grand, it's actually quite an undertaking. You have to be approved and be looked favorably upon enough to be able to pull it off. So
Yeah.
we're very lucky to have been selected. And it's something that we're looking very much forward to in 2018. There's going to be a lot of great events. We're going to do a lot of driving tours. We're going all the way north to Bowling Green to
cool.
see the Corvette stuff up there. And so it's going to be a great week-long worth of event, but planning has already started. It started, last year. We had to secure hotel contracts and food contracts. And
So where's it taking place? Where's everybody staying, and where's the main event?
Well, the 2018 event, we're going to be staying at the Cool Springs Marriott.
Okay.
That's going to be the host hotel. Phenomenal hotel, phenomenal staff, newly renovated.
Yeah.
So it'll be very nice for our guests. But in addition, it enables all of our guests to park easily. The car show will be held on site, so it'll be a great event.
Cool, cool. Now, what types of activities, like for someone that may just want to come in and see the cars? I mean, is that just open to anyone to come in and take a look through? Is that how that works?
The car show is open for anyone to come
Okay,
look
okay,
at the cars because it's out in the parking lot, and we welcome anybody and everybody to come
Cool.
check out the cars.
And again, so you don't have to have a card necessarily to join the club. You just
No.
have to have an appreciation. So how can someone maybe watching tonight that's interested that thinks, yeah, maybe I'd like to give that a try? Can they attend one of your cruises or come to a meeting? How does that work?
Certainly.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so if they visit our website,
Yeah.
which we'll display here on the screen,
Yeah.
but if they visit the website, that'll detail when and where we meet and all of our upcoming events, and we encourage anybody to stop by. There's a contact link there that they can shoot us an email if they'd like a more personal interaction with
Yeah.
one of us, and either Carrie or myself would be the one to respond.
Okay.
So we definitely encourage them to come on out, see what we're made of. They don't have to have a car. It doesn't have to be an older antique car. It could be a brand new car. We have an appreciation of all things automobiles. So just anything at love of automobiles we welcome, and then certainly we could get them more information on how to attend some of our future events.
Cool. Now, we've got just a little bit of time left, so I wanted to ask you guys, is there a particular favorite car that you wish you had? Is there one that you see maybe that you covet or that you really want to make sure you want to add to your collection? Carrie?
I would have to say one just like in high school that my brother had.
Oh, okay, okay.
That's at the top of the list, but
Has anybody had one that you've noticed or seen?
I've seen only one for sale, in the past 10 years.
What about you, Anthony?
You know, as any viewers that may join or join us, and as most of our club members now will tell you, I'm a huge Pontiac fan, and it breaks my heart that they don't make Pontiac anymore. But probably the one Pontiac that is still on my bucket list that I will own one day is a 74 Pontiac Grand Am 2.
Oh, okay. Well, cool. Well, thanks, guys. And I'm sorry I'm going to have to cut you off. I'd love to talk cars for the rest of the day, but we've got to get out of here. Thank you so much.
Thank
and we'll
you,
have
Brett.
you back again before the conference happens.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Thank you.
And so that's all the time we have this evening. So until next time, you can follow us on social for real-time updates or watch us anytime at outandabouttoday.com. Good night.